call for? Who was that last call for? Oh, okay. I hear you. 10-4. I can see it. Yeah, that was pretty cool. at Veterans Stadium this afternoon as we have SCFA football on Viking Sports. This afternoon we have the Allen Hancock Bulldogs taking on the Long Beach City College Vikings. How you getting, everybody? I am Edward Rientasso. We come to you from Veterans Stadium, a matchup of both teams who were victorious last week. The Vikings got off the schneid and got the first win of the season with a dominant victory against Santa Barbara. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs come in snapping their two-game win streak, or their losing streak, with an impressive win against Santa Ana. The teams are on the field and we're getting ready to kick off here on Viking Sports. Again, we thank you for joining us wherever you may be. The Bulldogs deferred, and they'll get the ball to start the second half. Meanwhile, the Vikings will get the ball first. On a serious note, this is the 8th meeting between these two teams. Last time these two teams met, November 5th, 2022. 36-29 victory by the Bulldogs. And we're underway at Veterans Stadium. Return from the end zone. A lot of contact there. Down to the 15-yard line. It'll set up 1st and 10 for the Vikings. And we'll see this offense first. Alan Fournette, the sophomore, had a great game last Saturday against Santa Barbara. 24 of 35 for 345 yards and 5 touchdowns. A career best for him this season. 1st and 10 from the 15. Hand out to Samples. Looks like this Devin Samples, the sophomore, had 15 yards last Saturday. Going back to the series note, last victory by the Bulldogs was November 5th, 2022, 36-29. Last time the Vikings won was in 2021, 31-17. So Vikings were dominant in this series until the Bulldogs beat them last time. Samples again on 2nd down. Pickup of 3 yards. It'll set up 3rd down. Just underway here at the vet. Vikings coming in at 1-3. Looking to get their first home win this season. Here's the snap. Pass is caught. And that's going to be enough for a 1st down. Looks like that's Hezekiah Robinson. Had 3 catches, 55 yards last week. Ball at the 34. Shotgun position. 2 receivers on the right. Fournette will throw on 1st down. Sets up a pass. Pass is caught. Tackled near the 45. And that's Owen Tomic. 3 catches, 61 yards. He had 2 touchdowns last week. Second down and 1 from the 43. 13 minutes just underway. Bulldogs showing pressure. Here they come. Pass is caught by Tomic near midfield. Lost the ball. He's trying to get it back, and it looks like he may have got it back. Costly fumble there, but it looks like the Vikings were able to get it back. So instead of getting the 1st down, they're going to say that no gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down from the 43. Pass is caught.
That pass complete to Justin Austin. 3-yard gain and a first down, Vikings.
And a first down for Long Beach. So they avert the disaster of the fumble. And now they'll have it at the 46 with a fresh set of downs. Fournette will throw to his right side. Pass is caught. Dodges a tackle. Gets inside Bulldog territory. Close to the first down marker. Amari Conway. His first catch of the afternoon. Rushed for 34 yards last week. Second and 2 from the 46. They're going to go with the run. And Samples, nice endurance there. So the Vikings, very impressive on this first drive. Actually, that was Conway, excuse me, who was the last ball carrier. Looks like they're going to go in a no huddle. Fournette looking for the directions from the sideline. They'll have it at the 35. Shotgun position. Here comes the Bulldogs on the pressure. Fournette, now he's going deep, has somebody open. A penalty marker is down. Pass is incomplete. And another marker down, or actually has the same marker, they just threw it in there farther. So contact between the two players.
Pass interference, number 29 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And it's going to be pass interference on the Bulldogs, so that's going to give a first down there for the Vikings. It looks like Eric Salinas, number 29, guilty of that interference. I believe that's what the official said. So in any event, it's going to move the ball to the 35, or actually to the 20. First down, 10:22 remaining in the first quarter. Hard count. Fournette will throw. Going through the middle. Incomplete, intended for Owen Tomic. He had the right idea, but unfortunately overthrew his intended receiver. As you see the Vikings making some adjustments. Second and 10 from the 20. Vikings looking to punch it in first. Bulldogs defer, so they'll get the ball to start the second half. Vikings trying to take advantage of this opportunity. Shotgun position. Fournette will throw. Now he looks to his right. Has Tomic. Complete. Fumble the ball. And that ball is that going to be out of bounds? It looks like it went out of bounds before contact. Be a costly turnover if they say it's Bulldog ball.
That pass complete to Owen Tomic. Dylan Heath with the forced fumble.
So another fumble for the second time in this drive. But the Vikings will keep the ball, and it'll be a first down inside the 10. So the Vikings looking pretty good on offense in the red zone. A high snap there, or low snap. Lyndon Hodge carried that ball on that play. Tomic is coming back in. As you see the Bulldogs making some substitutions. Vikings trying to get their first win at home this season. 0-2 at home this year. Saw a lot of improvements last week against Santa Barbara. We'll talk about those in a moment. Fournette will throw it to the left side. Has somebody there, and it's caught, and it's going to be a touchdown. Owen Tomic for the touchdown.
6 yards and a touchdown.
A 6-yard pass, and the Vikings take a quick 6-0 lead. And the Vikings are picking up where they left off last week. Owen Thomas had 2 touchdowns last Saturday. Now he has his third touchdown since last week. Point after try. And the kick is up, and it is good. So the Vikings take the opening kickoff. They go 85 yards in 12 plays. 8:55 remaining in the first quarter. 7-0 Long Beach. As we try to get you a replay of that last pass from Fournette to Tomic. It's like we're having some issues with that. But a little note about last Saturday. Vikings scored 56 points. The most they scored this season. They only gave up 7 to Santa Barbara, which is the least they've given up this season. And their total offense was very impressive. Total yards was 488 to 212. The second most this season. As we saw, they went over 500 yards when they lost to Riverside in week 1. So the second most total yards this offense has possessed last week. As we kick it off to the Hancocks, to Alan Hancock. And look at that return, down the sideline. Bulldogs gonna get good field position. Looks like that's Dylan Heath, the DB wide receiver, sophomore, out of Philadelphia. So now we'll see this Bulldog offense go to work.
Ball at their own 42-yard line.
They'll have it at the 42. Good field position. Great return there by the Bulldogs. You just joined us late. The Vikings took the opening kickoff. 85 yards on 12 plays. 6-yard pass from Fournette to Tomic, 7-0. And here we go. The Bulldogs on their first play, or carry. And it looks like the quarterback for the Bulldogs is number 10, Drake Misamore, a sophomore out of Grover Beach, California, Arroyo Grande High School. Pick up a 5 on that first carry. Brings up second down. Vikings showing pressure. Now they back off a little bit. There's a handoff again on second down. Bit of a short gain. Looks like that's Elijah Little, the running back, as he'll come out to the sideline. It'll be third down for Alan Hancock. See what they'll do on third down. They need a yard. Looks like they're going on that I formation. There's a handoff again. And I don't think he may have got it, he may not, depending on the spot. Samai Carmichael, number 6, on that carry. And no gain. So the Vikings stopped them on third down. And it looks like the Bulldogs will punt. And Owen Tomic is going to be the returner. So the Vikings prevail on that big third down. So the good field position didn't work for the Bulldogs, and they'll have to punt. Tomic grabs it inside the 10. Now he goes to his left, dodges, nope, can't get away from the tackler. Tackle made there by the Bulldogs. Caden Tynes, number 27.
Caden Tynes makes the stop.
So with 6:41 remaining in the first quarter, Vikings 7, Bulldogs 0. Just underway here.
First and 10 Vikings, ball at their own 13-yard
Vikings offense coming back out on the field. A very successful first drive. Went 85 yards for the touchdown. So let's see if the Vikings can repeat what they did in their first possession. And that's get another touchdown. Fournette on first down, and that play's not going to count. Penalty marker, and that's going to be against the Vikings. So that's going to drop him back a couple yards.
Early movement by the Vikings, 5-yard penalty.
I tell you, when you're on offense and you move the ball, you're going to get yelled at by the coach every time. So they're backed up to the 8. It'll be first down and 15. Fournette will hand off. A nice carry there by Samples. Devin Samples gets some yardage from the penalty and a little bit more after. Conway, actually, that's the running back. So Conway on another carry.
10-yard gain, 2nd and 5.
Yeah, he picks up 10 yards. So they get the yardage back from the penalty plus 5 more. Now Fournette will roll through his right. Now he has somebody open, and that pass is intercepted by the Bulldogs. Austin King, the sophomore, down inside the 15. So what it looked like is going to be a first down for the Vikings. King somehow just jumps out of nowhere and gets the interception, and now the Bulldogs will have the ball deep in Viking territory.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball at the Vikings 15-yard line.
Wow, you just talk about a game changer. So now the Bulldogs will have it inside the Vikings 15-yard line, looking to tie the score with 5:57 remaining with a 7-0 lead. First and 10 from the 15. Carry by Collie Warren. I'm sorry, that's a Terrell Harley, no gain. Terrell Harley, the running back out of Las Vegas, Nevada.
Jaron Floyd with the tackle for a loss.
Loss of 3.
2nd and 13.
So we take a look at the Vikings defense. Trying to avoid a touchdown. Looking to hold him to 3 points. 2nd and 13. Back to pass. Pass is caught. Gets away from one tackle. Tackle inside the 2. So Misamore with another completion. Elias Martinez, the tight end. So it'll be first and goal at the 2. So pickup of 12 on that last play.
First and goal for the Bulldogs.
They're actually going to give him 16 yards on that gain. So now the Bulldogs are in scoring position. Misamore from the shotgun. Now he hands it off. Carmichael on the carry. Doesn't get much, but it looks like they're getting close to the end zone. And it'll bring up a 2nd and goal. Coming up next here. As Carmichael will head to the sidelines. Yeah, it looks like Harley has checked in. see if he'll get the ball here. Vikings lining up the front. Nice tackle. No, he got in. Fumble on the end zone. And it's picked up by the Bulldogs, and that's a touchdown. Hardy fumbled it, picked up by his teammates. And the Bulldogs get a touchdown the hard way. It's like Jordan Tights recovered in the end zone. Talk about being at the right place at the right time. So now we're an extra point away from tying the score. Here's the kick. And it's up the middle. So with 3 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the first, the score is tied at 7. How about fireworks here in the beginning of the game?
Test.
So the Vikings scored on the opening possession. And then on their second possession, they throw a interception, and the Bulldogs take advantage. It's a very confidence boost there for Allen Hancock, who is 0-2 on the road this season. Both their wins coming at home. As we set the kickoff here. Here's the kick. And that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. So the Vikings will have it at the 20. Rick Aguilar, the current coach for the Bulldogs, in his 3rd season, after spending 10 years as an assistant on the same Bulldogs team. He was an assistant from 2009-2019. In his first season, he led the team to 7-4, a berth in the Strawberry Bowl in 2023. And he also won Coach of the Year for his first season. Very impressive numbers there for him. Now in his 3rd season. Fournette on first down. Thought about it. Now he throws it. Pass complete. Penalty marker is down. And that looks like that's a Hodge on the receiving. But the penalty marker was in the backfield. And it's going to go against the Bulldogs, roughing the passer.
First down.
The penalty marker came up after Fournette threw the ball, and he was hit by one of the Bulldogs defenders. So that's going to tack 15 more yards. Now talk about getting a gimme here. Sure, the coaching staff is not going to be happy with that. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 48 following the penalty and the yard gains. Here comes the Bulldogs on pressure. Fournette hands it off to Hodge. Penalty marker is down. Hodge still stays on his feet, and now they whistle the play dead.
Holding, number 51, 10-yard penalty, still first down.
And that's not going to make the coaches happy. Speaking of head coaches, Marcus Cooper, in his first season with the Long Beach City College Vikings, also a former assistant. He's the first head coach. Got his first win last Saturday against Santa Barbara in dominating performance. Looking to get their first win here at home and start a streak going. Coming in at 1-3, undefeated in conference play, 1-0. Same with the Bulldogs. First down, Fournette throws to the left. Has Tomic. Out of bounds. Looks like that's Michael Wilson, the receiver. So Wilson gets his first catch of the afternoon.
7-yard gain, 2nd and 13.
And a very decent gain following the penalty. So he was able to get it near the line of scrimmage. But they still need 13 yards to get a first down. As this brings up a 2nd and 13. Tomic goes in motion. And they'll pass to the left side. Incomplete. It's intended for Justin Austin, the receiver.
Incomplete. Justin Austin, the intended receiver.
They'll bring up 3rd down.
In coverage.
So they'll need the 48 to convert here on 3rd down. See the Viking personnel, 3 wide receivers on the right below your screen. And it looks like Bulldogs might bring in some pressure here. Fournette throws on 3rd down, pass is caught, but they're not going to go anywhere. Conway on the catch, but stopped right away. So that's going to bring up a quick 4th down in a 3 and out for the Vikings. Approaching a minute and 30 here in the first quarter. See the clock moving on the top right of your screen. But the penalty really hurt the Vikings. Unable to overcome the holding penalty. Now they'll punt. See if the Bulldogs might go for a block here. Fair catch made near the 30-yard line. Fair catch made by number 80 of the Bulldogs, Michael Walker, wide receiver. So we switch sides, and the Bulldogs will get the ball back with 1:06 left in the opening quarter.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Be 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs at the 30-yard line. Vikings showing the 4-3 defense. And they'll run it on 1st down. Harley. Gets about 4 or 5 as he'll come out of bounds. So we coming near the end of the first quarter. That will be a gain of 2. Be 2nd down and 8 yards to go. Missamora passes. Complete. He drops it. That's going to be no, incomplete.
Ruling on the field is incomplete pass. 3rd down.
Pass was for Elias Martinez. Dropped it. Vikings say it was a fumble, but the officials say incomplete. The ball hit the ground. So it would be a 3rd down and 8 yards to go from the 32. They'll need the 40 to get a first down. Mr. Moore will pass. Now he passes to the left side. Pass is complete, but not enough. They're going to be short. Ryder Sheed, number 22, on the reception, but is only able to pick up 3. So it would be 4th down as we end the first quarter. So a lot of fireworks in the opening 15 minutes. Both sides getting touchdowns. At the end of quarter number 1, we're tied at 7 here at Veterans Stadium.
The visiting Bulldogs 7, your Long Beach City College Vikings 7.
We mentioned that the history between these two teams. Series began in 1997. This is the 9th meeting between the two schools. Vikings won the first 7, and the Bulldogs won the last recent meeting. It was back in 2022. 36-29. So they got a victory on the board of this series, looking to get their second straight over the Vikings. We mentioned both teams snapped their losing streaks last Saturday. Vikings snapped their 3-game losing streak. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs snapped their 2-game losing streak. As we see the punt, it's going to take a short bounce, but it looks like it was picked up by one of the Bulldog players. So it'll be down at the 33-yard line. And the Vikings will resume play. Some first quarter stats. Vikings 2 of 3 on third down, 67%. They got 7 first downs in that quarter, 4 from passing, 1 from rushing, and 2 from penalties. They ran 8 plays more than the Bulldogs, 18-10, and total yards 82-29. As they'll run it on first down, and there'll be nowhere to go. It's like Hodge is the running back. So Hodge got stopped in the backfield. It'll be second down. Time of possession, Bulldogs had the ball for almost that entire first quarter. Vikings had it for just 3 minutes and 24 seconds. Bring a second down and 15 from the 28. And he's going to throw. Fournette was going deep, but finds Hodge, and Hodge is able to pick up some yardage. Tackled near the 37-yard line.
That's complete to Lyndon Hodge. Eric Salinas makes the stop.
Salinas on the stop.
36.
So they'll pick up a couple yards, and it'll be 3rd and 6. They'll need the 43-yard line for the first down. 3 wide receivers on the right side. Fournette throws on third down. And it's thrown but tipped out of bounds. That was intended for Ike White.
Ike White, the intended receiver.
So it'll be another 4th down for the Vikings.
4th and 6.
Alan Fournette actually had a great first quarter. 10 of 14 for 64 yards. Had a touchdown, but that interception is what turned the swing around, and we have a tie game. The Vikings will punt. And that's going to be picked up at the 15. He's going a few yards back. Vikings trying to stop him, and they finally do. But it's going to be inside the 10. Walker on the return, but not able to get anything as he was pushed back a few yards.
Michael Walker with the return.
So the Bulldogs will have it inside the 13. Just underway here in the second quarter. It'll be 1st and 10 in a tie ball game at 7 apiece. First and 10. Handoff. And that is Harley, who gets a great yard gain. It's like he'll pick up about 11. But it's going to be a first down.
Toro Harley with the carry. Alex Colabatos in on the stop. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball at their own 25-yard line.
So Harley is up to 5 5 yards carrying on 4 attempts. Meanwhile, Misselmore throws on first down. That pass is caught out of bounds at the 39. Martinez with the catch. That's his second of the afternoon.
Elias Martinez with the catch. First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball at their own 30.
So it'll be first down. From the 38. Vikings look like they might show pressure. And it looks like it was a fake handoff. And Misselmore kept it for himself. And he's going to pick up about 5 to 6 yards on first down.
Drake Misselmore with the keeper. Gain of 7 on the play.
And that last pass to Martinez is good for 13 yards. Misselmore gets 7 yards on that carry. He had 25 yards last week. Meanwhile, Harley again on a carry.
Toro Harley with the carry. Jaron Floyd first on the scene.
So they'll get a stop.
Loss of 1 on the play.
Third and 4 for the Bulldogs. Vikings sidelines chanting defense. So is the crowd. Trying to get off the field here on third down. Misselmore will throw. Now he's got pressure. Rolls to his right. Now he throws it and that ball is tipped. Cordell Montgomery.
That pass incomplete. Cordell Montgomery with the deflection.
He just came up and just spiked it like a volleyball. Pretty much denied him that pass. So it'll be another 3 and out for the Bulldogs, and the Vikings will get the ball back. Tomic is standing at his 15. Here's a kick. And that's going to take a bounce, a Bulldog bounce, at the 19-yard line. So they'll switch sides and the Vikings will get the ball back. 10:44 remaining in the first half. Score tied at 7.
First and 10 for the Vikings. Ball at their own 31-yard line.
See if the Vikings will try to take advantage of this opportunity. That last punt was 25 yards by Jordan Orcutt. Fournette is back out on the field. 4 wide receivers for the Vikings, a 4-3 defense by the Bulldogs. Fournette will throw on first down. Pass is caught by Tomic down to about the 40-yard line. Just near that first down marker.
Brought down by Connor Wiles. Good for a first down.
And they're going to give him the first down. So 10 yards right away on first down. As the clock is ticking, 10 minutes and 16 seconds until halftime. Wiles was on that tackle. Fournette will throw on first down. Now he's going deep. Incomplete, intended for Owen Tomic. Tried to one-hand it.
Owen Tomic, the intended receiver.
Tomic was the intended receiver.
In coverage.
He's had some big games lately with the Vikings. And it'll be second down. So far, he's the leading receiver with the Vikings. 5 catches, 35 yards, and a touchdown. Fournette. Pass cannot be caught. It'll be incomplete. Back-to-back incompletions. And it'll bring up third down. So they try it again. Unable to make a completion. So now third down. They need the 49 to get the first down. It's like they're going on a 3 wide receivers with the tight end. Now motion. Here is the attempt. Fournette throws to the left side. Pass is caught. Kyle Brough. And it looks like that'll be enough for a first down. Kyle Brough, the sophomore. 11-yard gain on the play. And it'll be first down for Long Beach. Now they're on the other side of the 50. 3 wide receivers. Brown lined up on the left side. And they'll run it on first down. And it looks like that's a Conway on the carry. So far, Conway has 28 rushes on 4 carries.
Conway with the carry. Gain of 4. Second and 6.
They'll give him 4, and it'll be second down. 8:57 and counting. Brown will go out to the left. 4 wide receivers. Fournette will throw. Has a man, and it looks like that's a Tomic on the left side. And that's going to be good for another first down. So the Vikings offense is moving here in the second quarter. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs defense is starting to swing back a little bit. At the 35. Fournette will throw. Quick pass. Complete to Conway. Conway gets the first down and more outside to the 20. Amari Conway with the Jets. And I'm not talking about New York Jets. I'm talking about real Jets. Gets 15 yards on that last play. And again, another first down for the Vikings. So it'll be first down from the 20. (4-3) defense shown by the Bulldogs. Fournette will throw. Gets away. Now he throws. Has a receiver, and that's going to be a touchdown. Stewell Libotcher. Good play there by Fournette to avoid the pressure. It looked like he may have going to take a sack, but was able to throw the ball and finds his receiver. And now the Vikings retake the lead at 13-7 with the extra point coming up. Ramirez with the extra point. And he hits it. Ramirez hits the extra point after, as we have a replay of that last touchdown pass. See, Fournette gets away from one defender. Looks like he was going to get sacked, but he throws it at the last second. And you see Stewell, number 10. Stewell Libotcher. Looked like Cooper Kupp there. As we return to live action. So that was 8 plays and 69 yards. Around 3 minutes and 30 seconds. So now the Bulldogs will get the ball back and see if they're able to respond. But what great execution there by the Vikings offense. Ramirez kicks it off. And that's going to go into the end zone. Oh, it hit the goalpost. Wonder if they'll give him 3 points for that. Can you imagine kicking a field goal on the tee? You get 3 points. Maybe in the future they might consider allowing that. So we have 7 minutes and 28 seconds left in the first half. 14-7 Vikings. And the Bulldogs will go to work from the 20. Mason Moore will line up. Not in shotgun position. I formation. He'll quick pass on first down. Pass is complete. To Tay Armstrong Jr., the sophomore out of Philadelphia. It's going to be a first down for the Bulldogs as we approach 7 minutes left in the first half. Vikings lining up on a 4-3 defense. No shotgun position, but this time they will hand the ball off. And there he goes. Wide open. Inside the 30, inside the 20. And he's tackled inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. Elijah Little with a big play. And he's going to set the Bulldogs up with first and 10 at the 12-yard line. What a run there. That was a good run there by Little. See what they could do on first down. Missamore will keep it. Tackled inside the 10. A 48-yard run there by Elijah Little. The longest run of the day so far this afternoon. And it looks like Harley is coming back in. Be second down, and it looks like there's a different quarterback. It looks like it's Cash Carter, number 17, in. And he's going to hand it off to Harley. But Harley runs into a wall of Viking defenders. And somebody
number
lost their
42,
helmet.
defense. Helmet came off. Has to sit out one play. Play clock will be 40 seconds.
Meanwhile, one of the Viking defenders lost their helmet, so now they'll have to go outside for a play. If you wonder, one of the rules is if you lose your helmet in play, you'll have to step out for one play and then get back in. So the defender from the Vikings is going to have to wait a play before he can get back in. 3rd and 4 from the 7. They need the 2 for a first down. And Carter's going to keep it. And he's going to get in. Still waiting on the officials. Touchdown Bulldogs. Cash Carter with the run. Both officials had to discuss it, but they're going to give the Bulldogs another touchdown. So Allen Hancock answers back. And there again, we're an extra point away from a 3rd tie of the game. This will be the 2nd tie of the game. Point after is good. No good. No good.
The point after attempt is no good.
Ooh, that might come back and haunt them later on. Let's see how that goes. So with 4:49 left in the first half, the score is 14-13 Vikings after the Bulldogs missed the extra point. So we take a look at the replay. Cash Carter, the quarterback, gets away from a defender, and you see the contact, and he touches the pylon. You see the officials call touchdown as we return to live action. That last drive by the Bulldogs, 5 plays, 75 yards. Take about 3 minutes off the clock. And we'll see if the Vikings can answer. Both teams have been answering each other's challenges. Oh, there's a loose ball in the play. It looks like the Bulldogs might have it. Let's see what they call here. No, Vikings catch it back. Oh, the Vikings, for the second time in this half, avoided disaster. Talk about a dangerous return. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 24, followed by that fumble. 4:47 remaining, and both teams have all 3 timeouts, including the 2-minute timeout, which is coming up soon. First and 10. Handoff on first down. Looks like that's Hodge on the carry. It'll be second down. So it'll be a 3-yard gain. First, second down. From the 27. Low snap. Hodge again on the carry. Maybe about 4 to 5 yards short of the first down. See where they'll mark the ball. Looks like they'll mark it at the 31. They'll bring up a 3rd and 4. Those are 3rd and 3. With 3:43 and counting. Vikings trying to answer back after the Bulldogs got a touchdown on their own. See double motion. Fournette will hand off on 3rd down. And Conway, and he gets the first down. Amari Conway with great running. Stayed with his blockers, stayed on his feet, and he picked up another first down for the Vikings as we approach 3 minutes left in the first half. First down from the 38. Fournette will throw. Pass is caught. Tomic in Bulldog territory. Owen Tomic has been one of the Vikings receivers who's become a superstar in these last few games. Be another first down. 2:34 and counting. Vikings have all 3 timeouts. We also have the 2-minute timeout that's coming up soon. Shotgun position with 3 receivers on the right side. Fournette, quick pass. Overthrows, but the pass is still caught. Tomic on the catch, but wow, it was a high pass. Tomic listed at 6'1". So his height really helpful on that last play.
We're at the 2-minute timeout.
And we reached the
Reset the
2-minute
game clock to
timeout.
2 minutes.
So inside of 2 minutes left in the first half, Vikings holding on a 14-13 lead as we approach halftime. The Bulldogs deferred, so they'll get the ball to start the third quarter. So it could be a very important possession here for the Vikings to at least get a score or maybe use up the time to avoid the Bulldogs from getting a score of their own. So far, we've seen both teams match each other on the touchdowns. It's been back and forth in his first half. See the Vikings regrouping. Here come the Bulldogs. They're getting ready to set, as does the Vikings offense. Third down and 11 from the 50. Fournette gets away, passes it. It's complete. Complete to Tomic, but they're going to be short of the first down.
7-yard gain. 3rd and 4.
Okay, so it looks like there was an error. That was just second down. So now it's third down. So it'll be 3rd and 4. So look, there was an error on the scoring. That last play we just saw was second down. And the marker is marked at third down. Tomic goes in motion. Now he goes back. Fournette will go to his left, looking for somebody. Now he throws it deep. And that pass is intercepted by the Bulldogs. And the ball's on the ground. And there's a fight for it. Nashawn Corley on the interception and the fumble recovery. The second turnover of the game. And the Bulldogs will have at least an attempt to get points with 1 minute and 4 seconds left. Meanwhile, we have an injured Viking player on the field. While they attend to the injured player, it will be an injury timeout. 1:04 remaining in the first half as we have a replay. Fournette, you see, running towards his left, pointing at somebody. Now he just throws it. And Corley wrestles it away. But you got to give the Vikings credit. What a hit that was. And the Vikings, it looks like somebody jumped on it. But in the end, it went back to Corley. Would have been a great opportunity to get the ball back if you were Long Beach. As we return to live action, looks like that's Hezekiah Robinson who was injured. Good to see him back on his feet, and he's walking towards the sideline under his own power. So that's a good sign. So the second interception for Alan Fournette. Now the Bulldogs with 1 minute and 4 see what they can do. But how would the Bulldogs be careful what you call? You're near your end zone. Don't want to have any mistakes. First down, Mason Moore's back in. And it looks like that's Harley on the carry. And let's see if the Vikings will use their timeout. They have all three. And it looks like they're going to just let this clock go down.
Austin King makes the stop.
That last tackle by Austin King.
2nd and 4.
Mr. Moore will throw. Now he's going deep. Has someone open. Pass is caught. Inside Viking territory. Elias Martinez with the catch. And a timeout is called by the
Hancock.
Bulldogs.
That is their first timeout.
So just when we thought the Bulldogs were just going to run it down to halftime, they make a big play. And the ball's now at the Vikings' 46-yard line. How about that? So we take a look at the replay. Missimore again. Turned it on, he threw it up. See Martinez and just edges out King to make that catch. So we return back to live action. See timeout called by the Bulldogs. Sure, Coach Aguilar is telling them how they want to proceed with these last 27 seconds. Keep in mind the Bulldogs missed the extra point earlier, which is why it's a 1-point lead for Long Beach. Bulldogs looking to get at least a field goal. Missimore, incomplete. And some of the players wanted a helmet-to-helmet penalty, and looks like I don't see a marker on the field. And that was Ryder's sheet on the intended receiving. I don't see a marker on the field, so looks like they'll let that one go. Second and 10 from the 46. 21 seconds left till halftime. Man in motion. Needs some more. It's going deep again. One-on-one coverage. Incomplete, penalty marker on the field. Martinez, the intended receiver. Looks like that was Josiah Jones on the coverage.
Pass interference. Number 6 of the defense.
Oh, that's going to be a big play.
First down.
So pass interference on the Vikings, and that's going to move the ball up 10 yards. So the ball will now be placed at the 31-yard line with 17 seconds left until halftime. Still plenty of time for the Bulldogs to use the middle of the field. But let's see how they will use these last seconds. There's a handoff. No, it's a reverse. Tackled in the backfield.
Timeout. Timeout, Hancock.
By Jordan Rogers, number 23. And Ryder Shade on the carry. A quick timeout by the Bulldogs with 7 seconds left. May have time for just one play. They could still use the middle of the field, but they're going to have to call that timeout quickly. And they can also use the sidelines if they need to. So very limited options as we reach halftime. Vikings would like to go into the half with a 1-point lead. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs, if they can get a quick play, just get a couple yards, they can set up a field goal. And the field goal unit's not coming out yet. So it looks like this might be the last play of the half, depending on what's called. Second and 10 from 31 with 7 seconds left. Missimore will throw, and he's going to get sacked in the backfield. Meanwhile, the clock is ticking to see if they'll use their last timeout. And they do not. Looks like that's halftime. Yeah, not sure what's going on there. I wasn't using their last timeout. And we welcome you back to Veterans Stadium here at Long Beach City College, where the score is Vikings 14, Bulldogs 13, as we get set to start off the second half. Very productive first half by both teams. Vikings came out swinging first, but the Bulldogs fought back. But right now, the Vikings hold a 1-point lead on the count of the missed extra point earlier after the Bulldogs scored their last touchdown, which stands at 14-13. We mentioned earlier that both teams looking to extend their streaks after snapping their losing streaks last week. Vikings getting a dominant win in Santa Barbara last Saturday. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs got an impressive win against Santa Ana just a week ago, as the Vikings are trying to get their first home win this season. Meanwhile, for the Bulldogs, they're looking to get their first win on the road, as they're 0-2 on the road for this season. Edward Rentasso here with you. We thank you for joining us as the weather starting to get a little cooler here. Right now, 72 degrees, partly cloudy. The sun was out for most of the first half, but now it looks like it's getting cloudy as we approach the evening hours here in Long Beach. As we get set for the second half kickoff, again, the Bulldogs deferred, so they get the ball here, and we're underway with the second half. Kickoff return by the Bulldogs by Dylan Heath, who stays in bounds at the 30, tackled, takes a couple of Vikings with him, down to about the 34, and a little bit of extra activity near the 40-yard line. Good thing cooler heads prevailed there, as we see the Bulldogs offense here in the second half. Drake Misamore was the quarterback, went 5 for 8, 87 yards in that first half. And he'll hand it off on first down to Terrell Harley. Harley had 8 carries and 24 yards in the first half. Cash Carter, the backup quarterback, actually had one of the rushing touchdowns. Harley had the first. And Harley gets 4 yards on first down. Brings it to a 2nd and 6, just underway here in the third quarter. Misamore throws, passes complete to Martinez, stiff arms, takes a Viking out of bounds with him, and they'll move the chains for a first down. Martinez, 4th reception of the afternoon. He is the leading receiving player on this Bulldogs team. 3 catches for 69 yards, had a 40-yard pass near the end of the half. But now he gets his 4th catch of the afternoon. And it'll be first down just near the 50 at the 48-yard line. Carmichael checks in at running back. Misamore, not in a shotgun, but he rolls right. He's going to run. He's going to get about 2 yards as he passes the 50. For the Vikings, Alan Fournette, 18 of 25 for 148, 2 touchdowns, but 2 costly interceptions that turned into opportunities for the Bulldogs. Amari Conway, the leading running back, 6 rushes, 39 yards. Owen Thomas, 9 catches for 63 yards and a touchdown, as Harley runs it on second down. The first downs seemed even in the first half. 14 for the Vikings, 10 for the Bulldogs. Third down percentage, Vikings 57, 4 of 7, but the Bulldogs 1 of 4 on third down. Look at time of possessions, 18:05 to 12:06 in favor of the Bulldogs. We have a 3rd and 5. Misamore will hand off, but they'll get denied. Elijah Little on that carry. Seems to go nowhere, and it'll bring up fourth down. So improving plays there real quick on the third quarter, but the Bulldogs not able to move far past the 50, so they'll punt and they'll give the ball back to the Vikings. Total yards even between both teams at the half, 188 each. Here's a snap. That punt is going to get close to the 1 yard line, and that's what they'll down it. So a good punt by the Bulldogs, and the Vikings are going to get the ball back, but just near the 1 yard line. Talk about a dangerous starting position if you're the Vikings. Now you're in a position where you can't make any mistakes. You can either give up a safety or a touchdown. Wow, what a punt, 46 yards. So Vikings got to be careful what they call, as they're on the shadow of their end zone. First and 10. Tommy goes in motion. Fournette looking. He'll throw. Pass to Tommy. Needs to get out of the end zone, which he does. And he gets some yards after. Out of bounds near the 10. Owen Thomas gets the catch. Picks up 9 impressive yards. And it gives the Vikings great room. At least they're not in the shadow of their end zone. They're at the 10-yard line. Second down and 1. They'll hand it off this time. Running play that will go nowhere. Say that's Lamar Cooper on the carry. Conway on the carry. So a big third down for the Vikings. Conway, 6 rushes, 39 yards. See what they call here. They will. Fournette Rosso is right. Tries to do something, but he runs into a couple of defenders, and he's going to get denied. That might go down as a loss. Tackle made by Gabriel Almada, number 99. So the Vikings can't do anything, so they'll give the ball back to the Bulldogs with a 1-point lead. They have a returner at the 45. May want to be careful how they snap this as well. Looks like for the Bulldogs, that's Michael Walker that's going to punt it. Meanwhile, we have a stoppage of play. Now play will resume. Here comes the Bulldogs. Almost got a piece of it. And that touched the Viking. Now it touched the Bulldog. Talk about that. Could have gone either way, but in any event, Allen Hancock keeps the ball, and they'll have it at the 38-yard line. Great field position for the Bulldogs. So a slow start for both offenses, no points yet, but the Bulldogs have an opportunity to score points. They're at the 38. It'll be first down. Missmore will hand off to Harley, and he's got good running room. Breaks past the first down marker down to the 20. Inside the 20-yard line goes Terrell Harley. Payne on the tackle, and that's going to be a first down. So the Bulldogs have not led so far this afternoon, looking to get the first lead of the game. They've trailed but tied the game up. Just down by 1. Moore will hand off. And again, another running play to the 10, to the 5. Does he get in? He touched that pylon, and that's going to be a Bulldogs touchdown. Elijah Little with the run. And now the Bulldogs lead for the first time this afternoon with 8:39 left in the third. The score is 19-14 Bulldogs. We'll try to get your replay. We'll get your replay right after the point after attempt. Keep in mind he missed the last one. Let's see if they're able to make this time. And they're successful, so it's now a 6-point lead with 8:39 left in the third, 20-14 Allen Hancock, as we have a replay of that running back, the running play by Michael. See what follows his blockers and turns on the speed. Elijah Little just dives in, makes sure he hit the pylon, and they gave him the touchdown. As we return to live action, so the Bulldogs score the last 6 points. Excuse me, the last 7 points. So they score the last 7 points, and the score is 20-14. See if the Vikings can counter and try to get the lead. Again, we wonder if that missed point after will affect the game later on. Let's have to wait and see. As the return from the 1, 30, 35, 40, out of bounds near the 40. Looks like that's Conway on the return. So that'll set up the Vikings with good field position. So we have a replay of the kickoff. See, Conway went back, got it at the 1. Just look how he goes to his left, passes a tackler, passes another tackler, has a little bit of running room, goes inside, but not able to keep his balance. So the ball will be at the 41 of the Vikings. Again, the Vikings have actually good field position all game this afternoon with the exception of a couple. Looking to get the lead back. Pass is caught. It looks like that's Kyle Brown. He's down inside the 45 to the 46. Fournette passes to Kyle Brown. Good yardage. Always want to get those good yardage on first down. Makes second and third down very easy if you're offense. As we take a look at Kyle Brown there. Second down and 5. Fournette will pass. Pass is caught again. And that's caught by Michael Wilson. So Wilson on the reception, be another first down as the Viking crosses the 50 and inside Bulldog territory at the 44. 7:30 and counting. Very fast third quarter. Fournette on first down, throws up the left side, passes caught. And that'll be another first down with Brown with another reception. So now there's a pass momentum going on with the Vikings. Another completion will set up first down inside the 30-yard line, at the 30-yard line. The Vikings down 6. They've had the lead so far in this game with one tie. Bulldogs just took the lead moments ago. Vikings trying to get it back. Fournette, complete to Tomic, inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. And they're getting close to the end zone, ladies and gentlemen. We're seeing a momentum shift going back to Long Beach.
First down, Vikings.
As we see Wilson will come out. Looks like Riley Weinstein, the tight end, is coming in. He'll line up on the right side. Fournette has 4 wide receivers. He'll pass. Going for the end zone. Just can't make the grab. Just missed it, and that was Weinstein on the reception attempt.
Riley Weinstein, the intended receiver. Dylan Heap in coverage.
That was 4 completions in a row there. Now the streak snapped. But the play calling has been very incredible in this drive. It'll be 2nd and 10, the 6th play of the drive. Fournette will roll to his right. Now he throws for the end zone. Incomplete. It's like intended for Ike White.
That pass incomplete. Ike White, the intended receiver. 3rd and 10.
Actually, the Vikings have a new quarterback on the field. Wyatt McCauley. So he's in at quarterback. We saw him in the early parts of the season, but Fournette was in there mostly after. So now McCauley's going to get another chance for the end zone. Incomplete. So McCauley got a drive under his belt, was doing very well. Unfortunately, was not able to get the team into the end zone. And the Vikings will go for a field goal as we see Fournette also on the sideline. Not sure if he's injured or they made a switch at the quarterback position. But right now he is on the field, on the sideline with his helmet off. So we'll see what's happening there. This will bring it within 3. And it's no good. White, well, White, not White left, but to the left. So the Vikings
29-yard field goal attempt is no good.
unable to capitalize. With 6:01 left in the 3rd, it's 20-14 Bulldogs. Talk about a disappointment. Vikings were having momentum going down the field. So the Bulldogs will have it at the 12 following the missed field goal. Lead by 6. Missamore will hand off on 1st down. Looks like that's Harley on 1st down. Be 2nd down, and it looks like Little is coming in. May want to keep your eye on number 39, Elijah Little, who had the go-ahead touchdown just moments ago, and he's going to carry here on 2nd down. Able to move forward and get a 1st down. As the clock continues to tick, 5 minutes, 21 seconds left in this fast 3rd quarter.
1st and 10 for the Bulldogs.
Bulldogs looking to get their first win on the road, as their 2 victories came at home this season, as they go on a fast huddle. And some more will throw on 1st down, complete to Martinez, gets away from a defender. Now he jukes right, and he'll be tackled at the 39. So quick yardage there on 1st down. Brings up 2nd down.
Complete to Elias Martinez. Paul Kwame in on the stop. 7-yard gain. 2nd and 3.
The Vikings have put up a lot of points in the second half last Saturday in Santa Barbara, which is something we've seen so far this season. Vikings struggling in the second half. Halfway through the third and no score, and Harley will get it on second down, who stays on his feet, and he gets tackled back out of bounds near the 45. And he may be hurt, and he's getting up, which is a good sign. It looked like he took a hit or took a bad tackle at the end. And again, it'll be another first down for the Bulldogs. At the 48, coming up on 4 minutes left in the third quarter. Bulldogs looking to extend their lead by 6. Nissamore will hand off to Little. Little to the right side, gets away, has an open room. 30, 25, out of bounds inside the 25 to the 22-yard line is Elijah Little. Had the big play earlier in the third quarter with the touchdown, as we have another replay.
Timeout.
Just watch how he understands his blockers.
That is their first timeout.
Gets away, and he has open light. Meanwhile, a timeout on the field. Looks like the Vikings have called their first timeout. With 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the third quarter, the score is 20-14 Bulldogs. A pivotal game between both teams as league play starts. Both teams got wins last week. Looking to get another win to revive their season. Vikings coming in at 1-3. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs added even 2-2, but like to get a win on the road before heading back home for their next game. As we get close to the evening here in Long Beach, lights are turned on here at Vet Stadium. Nissamore will fake handoff, he'll keep it. He stays on his feet, has running room, and he's tackled inside the 15 to the 12-yard line. Is the quarterback, Drake Nissamore. So the Bulldogs getting momentum off that missed field goal, have an opportunity to increase their lead in this fast-paced third quarter. And so we have an injured player on the field at the 21-yard line. So we'll have an injury timeout here with 3 minutes and 18 seconds left in the third quarter. And we'll show you a replay of that last run by Nissamore. See the fake handoff and gets away from a Viking. And you see he pulls the Jets on and able to get some extra yardage. Man, it looks like the injury player on the Bulldog is on the sideline, which is good. It was a good sign. And now Elijah Little, number 39, is checking in. For the Vikings, you may want to put some pressure on him. He's been killing the defense with his speed in this third quarter. As we resume play, first and goal at the 7. Nissamore hands out to Little. Watch out for him. And he gets it inside the 3-yard line. Second down and goal coming up for the Bulldogs. Mentioned at the top of the broadcast that this is the 9th meeting between both schools, with the Vikings winning 7 of the past 8. Allen Hancock got the first win recently, back on November 5th, 2022, with a 36-29 victory. So they're looking to get their second win in this series. Carmichael runs it this time on second down. He's denied. And it'll bring up a third down for the Bulldogs.
First on the scene. Third and goal from the 3.
It's like a personnel switch. Martinez coming in. And it looks like Little checked out, so he's not in the field. 3rd and goal. Missamori holds on to it, and he's going to get pummeled by a couple of Vikings. LeVar Taylor on the sack. Tally on the sack, and they stopped the Bulldogs offense for now. And we'll see if they'll kick a field goal. So it'll be 4th and 6 from the 6. And the Bulldogs will go for a field goal. This will make it a 2-possession game if they hit this. Kick is up. And it's good. So the Bulldogs come away with points. With 1 minute and 16 seconds left in the 3rd quarter to score Long Beach 14, Allen Hancock 23. They have a 9-point lead, a 2-possession game. And so far the Bulldogs, whatever advantages or strategies they came up with at halftime has worked. Their running game especially has burned the Vikings defense in this 3rd quarter with a couple of big runs from Elijah Little. That was a 9-play, 74-yard drive, lasting almost 5 minutes. Like 6 minutes and 1 second. So the Vikings will get the ball back, now down 9 points, able to hold to a field goal. So the score is still close. Meanwhile, that's going to go into the end zone for a touchback. Conway tried to return it, but it slipped through his hands. So the ball will go into the end zone for a touchback. And we'll see who will come in at quarterback for the Vikings. And it looks like it's going to be McCauley. So Fournette was in the first half. The Vikings may have made a switch at quarterback. McCauley was a starter going into the season. Had that good game against Riverside, but struggled for the most part of the season as he has an open receiver. Austin on the reception on a slant. And good yardage right away on 1st down. And now they're in Bulldog territory. From the 48. Handoff. No, Caldwell's going to keep it. Now he throws to his left side. Pass is complete. Gets away from a tackle. Penalty marker coming in. And another one coming at the end of the play. So Austin on the reception had a penalty marker after the catch.
10-yard penalty. It's 1st down.
So Justin Austin made the catch, but was held, or someone was holding. So it'll go against the Vikings. But a second penalty marker looks like came in after the play. So it looks like they're picking that one up. And the Vikings will be guilty of a hold. As we near the end of this 3rd quarter. It's a fast-paced 3rd quarter here at Vet Stadium. First and 20 from the 42. McCauley will throw. Throws to his left side. Pass is complete on the screen. Weinstein, the receiver. And looks like that'll be the final play of the 3rd quarter. So we have 15 minutes left of action. At the end of 3, the score is Bulldogs 23, Vikings 14. And we'll stay right here during this 3rd quarter intermission. So it'll be a big 4th quarter coming up in just a few seconds. Vikings shut out in that 3rd quarter. Bulldogs put up 10 points in that third quarter. The touchdown run by Little, and just moments ago, we saw a field goal attempt to make it 23-14. Vikings have dominated this series with the Bulldogs, winning the first 7. Again, first meeting was back in 1997. Then there's a couple of year lapses. And recently it's been all Vikings until just a couple years ago where the Bulldogs got the first win and on pace to go for their second win in a row against these Long Beach City College Vikings. Teams change fields and we're set to start the fourth quarter. Wyatt McCauley in at quarterback. He came in quarterback in the third quarter. And he'll throw on second down, going to the left. Has a wide open Tomic, who's tackled out of bounds, and a penalty marker coming in at the end of the play. He might get the Bulldogs on the face mask. Looks like there was a contact towards the face mask. And this might be on the Bulldogs. Give more yardage to the Vikings.
Personal foul, face mask, number 0, the defense. That's going to be half the distance to the goal from the end of the run. First down.
And indeed is a face mask. I'm not sure that's the proper way to tackle somebody with their face mask. Of course, if anyone tried to tackle on a face mask, I'm sure it would be painful. Just imagine someone like trying to put their hands on your face mask and you can't see after. It's like, can't see or what's going on. In any event, it's first down and some movement. Bulldogs pointing at the Vikings, Vikings pointing at the Bulldogs. So the blame game is going around. And the officials will talk and see who will be the guilty party.
Offsides, defense, number 41. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And the Bulldogs are guilty as charged in this court of law. So 5 yards extra for the Vikings, be first and 5.
Ball at the Bulldogs' 7-yard line.
So the clock's ticking. Just underway here in the fourth quarter. Vikings looking to draw closer, down by 9. Cauley looking at the back of the sideline, then he's looking up front towards the players. Low snap, handoff on first down. And is he in the end zone? They're saying no, down at the 1. Conway on the carry, but some of the Viking players are saying touchdown. But it looks like the line judge is saying they are short at the 1, but now it's first and goal at the 1. And the Vikings trying to go right away. Slow snap again. Oh, there's a fumble. But the whistle stopped.
Ruling on the field as the quarterback was down at the 6-yard line.
So they're going to rule this down at the 6-yard line. So that's a 5-yard loss, and it'll be at the 6.
Second and goal from the 6.
So they down it at the 6. Very fortunate for the Vikings. That could have been another turnover. They'll go back to work. And we have another
Before
stop
the snap, timeout Long Beach. That is their second timeout.
And the Vikings are going to call timeout with 13:24 left in the game. That's their second timeout. So they have one left in this fourth quarter. Not sure if it's a good idea to call your timeouts knowing you're down 9 points. But hopefully they're able to come up with a play to get some points. Still plenty of time to get scores. So we see the Vikings offense holding up. You see Fournette is in there in that huddle, but he is not in at the time. And we take a look at the Bulldogs on defense. As you see our scoreboard, Vikings have 1 timeout left. Bulldogs still have all 3, which could come into play later. As the teams are getting back out on the field, we will resume play with 2nd down and go from the 6. As we approach 13 minutes and counting, Caldwell will throw towards the end zone, and that is tipped. Batted away by the Bulldogs. Looks like that's Tay Armstrong Jr. Tomic was the intended receiver. Couldn't tell if that was Armstrong or Takai Assis. But in any event, it's 3rd and goal from the 6. See, the Vikings can get into this end zone down 9. Caldwell will throw. That pass is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and it's incomplete. Mikey Gills, number 44, may be the person that tipped that ball at the line of scrimmage. Ike White was the intended receiver, and it looks like the Vikings, Ramirez is coming down the field, so they're going to kick a field goal. Ramirez missed one earlier. You see the Bulldogs sideline, very, very momentous, trying to miss the kick. This will bring it to a 6-point lead. Here's the kick. It is blocked! Blocked by the Bulldogs! Another opportunity for points denied by the Bulldogs. And this will stay a 9-point lead. Talk about leaving points on the board. First the attempt missed in the first half, and now a blocked field goal. The Vikings have lost 6 points. So now the Bulldogs will have the ball at the 15. First down handoff on Little. Little gets away. And the ball's on the ground, but they're ruling him he's down. And the Vikings are not happy with that. They believe that ball came out first. And unfortunately, we do not have the instant replay rule at this level. So we cannot challenge or declare a review. So it'll be a 6-yard gain. But how big was that missed field goal? That would have been a 6-point game, a 1-possession game. Ball's at the 21. 2nd down. Missemore will hand off. And that's Carmichael on the carry.
Carmichael with the carry. Cordell Montgomery makes the stop. Gain of 3, 3rd and 1.
Not much change in that third quarter. The total yards still even. 305 for the Vikings to 301 for the Bulldogs. Time of possession almost equal, 26-47 to 20:04 in favor of the Bulldogs. 3rd and 1. Little. Not sure if he got past where he needed to get to. He needed it's like the 25. He might be short depending where they mark this.
Defense, helmet off. 25 seconds on the play clock.
And from it looks of it, it's short. So it'll be 4th down. And here comes the punting unit.
4th and inches for the Bulldogs.
So Tomic will stand at his 36-yard line. And there's a punt, and looks like the Vikings weren't set.
Number 34. 5-yard penalty.
So that's going to back the Bulldogs 5 yards extra. So it'll be 4th and 6 from the 19.
4th and 6 for the Bulldogs, ball at the 19-yard line.
At least it's safe to say that there will be no fake, which not sure if it's something you would risk when you're inside your territory. Tomic standing at the 45. And here is the punt. And that's going to take a little bit of a Viking bounce. And it'll be down at about the 38-yard line of the Bulldogs. 39-yard line. Actually, no, I'm sorry, that's the 44-yard line. So the Vikings still have the ball with 10:46 left in the game. Down 9 points, 23-14. Caldwell in at quarterback. He'll throw on 1st down. Looks to his left. Quick pass. Complete. Hodge on that screen.
Pass complete to Lyndon Hodge.
It'll be a good gain.
1st on the scene.
They will give him 3 yards.
3, 2nd and 7.
Good camera work there from our camera crew, from the students in the television department here at Long Beach City College. Caldwell will throw on 2nd down to the left side, has open man, complete. He's still on his feet, and that's going to be a Viking touchdown. Ike White, touchdown.
41 yards and a touchdown.
Ike White with the touchdown reception, and that has now brought the Vikings close to the current score 23-20 with the extra point coming up. We have a replay of that touchdown catch we'll show you after this point attempt by Ramirez, who had a field goal block moments ago. Kick is up, and it's good. So with 10:06 left in the football game, it's now a 23-21 lead. So we have a replay of the last pass by McCauley to Ike White. See, he catches it, then he breaks it past 2 defenders as we return to live action, finishes the play, and he gets the much needed touchdown. So the Vikings get their first points in the second half after being shut out in that 3rd quarter. And again, my question, as I asked before, will the missed extra point earlier come back to hurt the Bulldogs? You're looking at a 2-point lead. With that extra point made, it'd be a 3-point lead. So the Vikings can take the lead with a field goal if it gets deeper into the 4th. Hanging tight is going to be a great finish. And he's going to return it out of the end zone to the 20. 35, stays on his feet. Down to the 40-yard line. Dylan Heath, number 1. he picks up his little towel he dropped.
With the return.
So it's going to be a 42-yard return from the end zone to the 40. And again, the Bulldogs, both teams, have had great starting positions in this game. Mizamore throws to the left side, one-on-one. Penalty marker coming in, pass is incomplete. Intended for Roland Davis, who is injured on the play. And he was
Pass
defended by
interference.
Marvin Williams.
Number 2 of the defense. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So Williams is going to go down with the penalty, and meanwhile, Davis was able to get up and now on the sideline. Looks like he's okay. He's just a little banged up.
First and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball at the Vikings.
But it's good to see him back on his feet. In any event, turn of events, the ball is now at the Viking 45-yard line. Ball's on the ground. Missamore picks it up. It's going to be a loss on the yards.
Fumble on the play recovered by Drake Missamore.
So Drake Missamore recovers the fumble.
Makes the stop. Loss of 1 on the play.
And that's going to go down as a loss of a yard. So it'll be second down and 11. Missamore's going to throw it to his left side. Pass is caught. Dodges a tackler. Out of bounds at the 30. So that's Armstrong Jr. on the pass.
Complete to Tate Armstrong Jr. Alex Philippatos makes the stop. First and 10 for the Bulldogs.
So now the Bulldogs are moving the ball.
33.
At the 33, it'll be first and 10. Looking to extend their 2-point lead. Missamore hands off. On first down, it looks like that's White on the carry. White has really burned the Vikings this afternoon with his running.
Elijah Little. 3-yard gain.
So Little, over 100 yards, 9 carries, 119, and a touchdown. Had the big 48-yard run earlier in the game. Missamore hands off again to Carmichael. Not going to go much there on that play. It'll be second down for the Bulldogs.
Samaj Carmichael. Lengthy carry. Sharon
We're coming up on 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Could be an important drive here for both teams. Bulldogs looking to go up 2 scores, and the Vikings trying to keep it at a 1-possession game as they try to get the ball back to try to go for a potential game-winning drive. Second down, or third down. Missamore has 2 Vikings, and he's going to go down. Alex Kolovastos. What a big play there by the Vikings defense. And that took them out of field goal range. So we have a replay. Missamore sees 2 Viking defenders trying to throw it away, but puts it down at the last minute and gets introduced by 2 players on the Vikings defense. And here's the punt. Tomic. It's going to take a friendly Bulldog bounce to the 14-yard line. So with 6 minutes and 48 seconds left in the game, the score is 23-21 Bulldogs. Vikings looking to get their first win at home this season. Looking to extend their winning streak to 2 games. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs looking to get one on the road before they head back home. The Vikings will go back on the road. First down. Oh, ball's on the ground. Bulldogs say they have it. Conway may have. It's going to be second down. Vikings fortunate to get back on that ball.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Adrian Michaud of the Vikings.
So the Vikings will have an off week this coming week. They'll hit the road on October 11th against Citrus College. Then they'll be back on the 18th for homecoming against Santa Ana. McCauley on second down. Pass is caught. Pass is caught by Weinstein, the intended receiver. Excuse me. So the Vikings have some big games coming up in the month of October with Citrus, Santa Ana, Mount San Antonio, Ventura, and wrap up the season at Moore Park on November 8th. So some key opponents for the Vikings in the second half of the season. Colley. Now he gets away. Now he's going to run for it. 20, 25, 30, 35, out of bounds at about the 37. Wyatt McCauley using his legs, and he moves the chain for the Vikings. First down. Again, Wyatt McCauley coming in for Alan Fournette. McCauley's put up some good numbers in the second half. 11 of 16 for 156. And he's got 20 yards on that one carry he just completed just a few seconds ago. Handoff on first down. See the hit from up here. Hodge on the carry. Takes a hit at the end.
Met first by TJ Chandler. Gain of 5, second and 5.
So it'll be second and 5 from the 41. Coming up about 4 minutes left in the game. Colley on second down. Pass is caught by Austin. Inside Bulldog territory, down at about the 46-yard line. 47-yard line. It's Justin Austin.
Dylan Heath makes the stop. They needed 5. They got more. First down.
It's Austin's fourth catch of the afternoon as he comes out of bounds, out of line. And Ike White's going to come in. Owen Tomic is the leading receiver for the Vikings. He has 12 catches for 115 yards. On first down, McCauley will throw. Up the middle, that pass is tipped and is incomplete. Pass intended for Michael Wilson. Brings up second down.
That pass incomplete. Second and 10.
See personnel switch. .320 left in the game. Vikings have one timeout. Bulldogs have all three. They do have that 2-minute timeout still. Caldwell will throw on second down and pass is incomplete.
That pass incomplete. Justin Austin, the intended.
Austin again was a receiver, intended receiver. Bring up third down. You wonder if the Vikings will go for it on fourth down if it gets there. They may not have no choice with just one timeout left, so this could be the game on this drive. They need a field goal to at least go on top. Tomic goes in motion, top right of your screen. Caldwell, Colley on third down. Oh, that pass is in and out of the hands of Weinstein. And this is going to bring up fourth down. McCauley knew where he was going to.
That pass incomplete.
Weinstein knows he should have had that.
Takayas in coverage.
So 4th down, this could be the game right here. They need to get to the 41 for a 1st down. Like the 36, they need a 36 for a 1st down. 4th down, Colley gets away. No, he's gonna go down at midfield. A sack on 4th down, and they'll get the ball back to the Bulldogs with 3:06 remaining.
It is a turnover on downs. 1st and 10 for the Bulldogs. Ball at midfield.
So turnover on downs, and the Bulldogs have an opportunity to close it out. Vikings only have 1 timeout left, plus that 2-minute timeout. But they have to get a stop here, as they'll run it on 1st down. Tyson Scott on the carry, who's actually listed as a quarterback and a running back. Listed at 5'10", out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, attended George Washington High School in his 1st season here with the Bulldogs. So it looks like he might be in to finish the game. 2:26, 2:25 counting. Vikings don't use their timeouts yet. Carmichael on that carry. And it's going to bring up an interesting
Timeout.
3rd down coming
Long
up.
Beach. That is their last timeout.
And the Vikings used their timeout before the 2-minute timeout. So the game could be on the line in this 3rd down, because if the Bulldogs get a 1st down, this game will be over. Again, the Vikings had the lead for the majority of the 1st half and parts of the 3rd quarter. But the Bulldogs, with those 10 points scored in the 3rd quarter, put them up by a 9. But then the Vikings got a touchdown pass on the last possession, 2 possessions ago. Tried to go for it on 4th down, but McCauley was sacked at midfield. Now the Bulldogs, coming out of the timeout, have an opportunity to close the game. 3rd down and 4 from the 44. 2 minutes, 15 seconds counting. Misselmore is back in. They give it to Little, and he's going to get denied, but there's a penalty marker on the field. Hold everything. If this is on the Vikings, it'll be a 1st down. Oh, and an offsides called on the Vikings. That's going to give the Bulldogs a 1st down. They got the stop, but they jumped offsides. So now the Bulldogs have a fresh set of downs.
Following the offsides penalty.
That might just be enough for the Bulldogs to hold on here. Vikings are out of timeouts, and it looks like we're going to hit the 2-minute timeout. So it may not be over yet. And
That
we
is the
reached the
2-minute
2-minute
timeout.
2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter.
Take a
Score
knee
is
now.
Bulldogs 23, Vikings 21. While we have a moment here, let's give you a quick summary of the scoring plays that's occurred this afternoon. As the game started off with Owen Thomas' 6-yard pass from Alan Fournette, 7-0. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs battled back with a Torrey Harley 1-yard run, even it up at 7. Vikings countered back with a Stewell LeBoucher 20-yard pass from Alan Fournette, 14-7. Cash Carter, one of the backup quarterbacks, got a 6-yard run, but the extra point failed. In the third quarter, Elijah Little with a 20-yard run that put the Bulldogs ahead for the first time. A field goal by Raymond Escobar made it 23-14, and then just moments ago, Ike White on a 41-yard pass from Wyatt McCauley drew it even at 23-21. But the big play of the game so far was the fourth down. McCauley going for it, but was sacked. And just moments ago, the Vikings defense had the Bulldogs stop, but an offsides gave them a fresh set of downs. On first down, trying to run out some clock is Tyson Scott. Vikings are out of timeouts. So this might be a disappointing loss for the Vikings if it stands. Meanwhile, the Bulldogs are just a minute 28 left away from getting their first win on the road and their second straight against Long Beach. And they're going on victory formation. And a little bit of a shoving after. A lot of frustration coming on that Vikings defense. They played very well tonight, this afternoon. They gave it all they had. They were leading, but the Bulldogs were able to counter. And whatever strategies they came up at the half has worked, especially with the running game. And it looks like one more kneel down will do it. Okay, the Vikings will be off next week. And they'll hit the road at Citrus College on the 11th. Meanwhile, on the 18th, they'll be back here for homecoming against Santa Ana. Want to encourage everyone to come out on October 18th for their homecoming matchup. That's one more kneel down. And it looks like this game will be decided. So a very, very strong effort by the Vikings. Unfortunately, just came up a little short as they'll fall to 1-4 on the season. 0-3 at home so far this season. Meanwhile, for the Bulldogs, they'll go to 3-2, get their first win on the road, and they'll go to 2-0. As we hit triple zeros here, the final score from Vet Stadium: Bulldogs 23, Vikings 21. For everyone here at Long Beach City College, I am Edward Rentasa. We thank you for watching this presentation of Viking Sports. We will see you at the next home game.